I've watched the show Love and Hip Hop, and I've fallen for one of the guys on there, Rich Dollaz.
We are back with another Catfish episode, y'all, and this one has been super highly requested because it is a messy celebrity episode, and y'all love the celebrity episodes. Only this one has a pretty insane plot twist that you're probably not expecting unless you've seen the episode. So let's get into it. This is season 7, episode 21, Sheila and Rich Dollaz. At this point in the show, I swear they were just bringing any and everybody on to co-host because what is Nick Young doing here, aka Mr. Swaggy P?
Yo, what's up, man?
I believe at the time that he filmed this episode, he was dating Iggy Azalea, but that ended because he cheated on her publicly, and she caught him. Anyways, and if you don't know who Nick Young is by name, you probably know him from this meme. From what I can recall, Nick is actually a pretty good co-host, and I feel like that's just because he's a very charismatic, very easygoing guy. We start the episode off with Nev low-key flirting with Nick a little bit before we get into the catfish mess of it all, which is very interesting to me. We get an email from Sheila, who is from New York. Oh, hell nah.
Oh, Lord.
New York is one of the catfish hotspots y'all already know. Sheila is a 33-year-old single mom and a lover of reality TV. She is an avid watcher of Love and Hip Hop New York, and she has fallen for Rich Dollaz. Girl, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. First of all, never fall for a man who's on that messy mess of a show or any messy mess of a show. What the hell?
What the hell?
Second of all, out of all the men on that show, you're telling me you fell for Rich Dollaz? The man who refers to himself as part of the creep squad?
Be fucking for real.
Girl, stand up.
Stand up!
She says that about 8 months ago, she was watching her beloved show, and Rich mentioned in an episode that he was looking for someone to grow old with, and she thought, hey, that could be me. Don't think that. But after seeing this, she did what any sane, rational person would do. She slid into those DMs, and they actually began talking regularly. Nick then jumps in and says that he knows who Rich is, and Rich has a new girl every season, which is true, but I really just don't understand his appeal, like at all, but clearly I am not the target demographic. Or maybe I am, and it's just not hitting. Sheila says that if she is really talking to him, then he is the man of her dreams, despite the fact that they have never met up, they've never spoken on the phone, and they have never video chatted, which those 3 things usually indicate that it is a catfish. However, after reading the email, Nev says it's one of 2 things. Sheila is being catfished, or worse, she is actually talking to Rich Dollaz.
Damn.
Perhaps worse, actually talking to Rich Dollaz. Which one do you think makes her chances of finding love better?
That was a good one. That was a good one, Nev. And you know it's going to be an interesting episode if I'm already agreeing with Nev so early on. But they hop on a little Skype call with Sheila, and she is absolutely so happy to see them, but she's really geeked to see Nick. And maybe I would have been too. Especially at the time that they're just bringing on any and everybody. It's like, finally, someone I know. Sheila says that she is, in fact, speaking to the verified account on Instagram with over 1 million followers.
Don't play.
That's a plot twist that I really was not expecting. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay. Because usually it's some random account that clearly isn't real. But despite all of that, Sheila doesn't have his phone number, and Nick tries to make her feel better about this by saying that he wouldn't give his number out on Instagram either.
I wouldn't give out my number on Instagram neither, though.
Okay. After Sheila tells us that she's an aspiring rapper outside of her 9-to-5 and motherhood, Nick jokes that she is just a gold digger. She's using Mr. Dollars to get into the music industry.
Okay.
Okay. He said it jokingly. Thankfully, her sense of humor aligned, because if not, this would have been a really awkward moment. But to me, this is a really good example of a guest host breaking the ice and building a good rapport with the victim, so when the heavier stuff comes up later on, they're comfortable enough to be vulnerable and they feel safe with this person. Cassidy, girl, take notes. If you know, you know. Sheila says that she is sure that Rich hasn't put all of his eggs into one basket like her, but he's been talking to her for this long, so he must want her. Okay. Ladies, listen to me. Do not offer commitment and exclusivity to someone who isn't offering the same in return. Don't do that. They hop off the call, and Nick says that he has talked to hella girls on Instagram before and never met up with them, so he's not feeling too good about this, and he makes sure to clarify before because, again, he was in a relationship at the time. Neve is all smiles with Nick so far. All smiles. He's super happy.
Wow.
Laura girl, watch out. You might have some competition. But anyways, they fly out to New York to meet up with Sheila, and we get right into it. Sheila says that his emotional vulnerability on the show is what really attracted her to him, but girl, who cares about all that when he labels himself a creep? He did that.
Creep squad? Creep squad?
But at this point, that's neither here nor there. She says that after a while, Rich started to open up to her, so in return, she sends him poems, and then she reads one out to us. All I'ma say, she's a real New Yorker, that's for sure.
Do you want to be a creep, different strippers in your sheet, or do you want the one bitch that makes your heart beat?
As Neve is praising her poem, Nick says that she's kind of stalkerish low-key. Hilarious, but also an interesting insight because he himself said that he has been the Rich Dollaz in this situation. We then find out that Mr. Dollars has never told her that he likes her or that he wants to go out with her.
Stand up!
So this then brings up the question, why the f are we here and why did you contact Catfish? This man has never told you he even likes you. Why are we here? Nick then asks if she has sent nudes and Sheila responds enthusiastically, oh yeah.
Side eye.
Yeah, you ever seen him like inappropriate stuff?
Oh yeah.
Miss ma'am. This man can't tell you he likes you. He can't tell you he wants to go out with you. Yet you are sending him intimate pictures over Instagram. Don't save her. She don't wanna be saved, don't save her. She says that Rich often responds well to the pictures and asks for more, but he has never sent her any in return.
Be nice. I'm finding it.
Creep squad? Creep squad?
However, Sheila then lets us know that she's not completely delusional, and she understands that there is a chance that she is not talking to him. We then look at their message and go to the very beginning of their conversation, and the third message in, literally 1, 2, 3, from the second message from Rich, he asks for a video of her getting busy, and she sends it.
Send a video of you getting busy. What? Sorry.
I just seen that.
Insanity. Oh my goodness gracious, what is wrong? Don't do this. Don't do this. After seeing some more messages, Nick concludes that old girl is just crazy, and at this point, I cannot say that I disagree with him. As the Catfish crew are leaving, Sheila says, go find my husband, and Neve says, oop, there it is. There's the crazy leaping out.
Go find my future husband.
Oh, there it is. There's the crazy creeping out.
Damn. Damn. But the car debrief was a lot of nothing, so we're gonna get into the investigation. I had to bring y'all closer because I wasn't sure if you could see my necklace. See that? See what that says? Yeah. All right, let's get into the investigation. So we go to this super cute cafe the same day to get the catfishtigation started.
Oh my god.
Sheila has very little information to give them. Like, she literally just gave them his Instagram. She doesn't know his birthday. She doesn't really know that much about him, despite being like crazy in love and sending him pictures of that coochie cat.
They get it. Okay.
But when they go to his page, they say that it's very clear that Rich is either very, very immature or somebody much younger is running that Instagram account because there's just a lot of memes and a lot of quotes, not a lot of really personal content. Neve says that it's definitely not giving an older man's Instagram account, which I think is an interesting take, and it's one that Nick agrees with. Of course, because that's his man, and he goes stick beside him. Neve says that there is one other possibility, and he starts talking about his freaked out days, okay? He said that back before he was married, he noticed that there was a Twitter account who was engaging with him a lot, so he started engaging back, but he clarifies, again, he was single at the time.
I was single at the time, and
He says that she had a lot of followers, and he thought that she was attractive.
she seemed kind of cute and funny.
So Nick turns to him and says, so you got catfished again?
You got catfished again?
Damn. So Neve says that because she was so good at social media, he decided to hire her to run his socials. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. But I also think it's amazing what a man will let slide and let you get away with if he thinks that you're attractive. Because why are you hiring some random girl on the internet to run your socials?
What's not clicking?
You've never met her. You can't vouch for her. Just because you think she's fine?
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
This just confirms Neve's always been freaked out. So she told him to generate a temporary password so that she could get into the accounts. So he does that. And then one day at 2 a.m, he notices that he gets a random DM from a dude talking about, I really appreciate you helping out with all of this. And Neve is like, helping out with all of what? What are you talking about? What's going on here? So this girl, she would meet dudes on her own page. And then when they would ask for some sort of proof that she is who she says she is, that she's real, she would then message them from Neve's account saying that he knew her and they worked together. And she would then delete the messages so Neve would never know.
Cut the cameras.
Nick then says that he might catfish Neve next.
I can't believe you. I might catfish you next.
I mean, he might have to, because at this point he's making it seem too easy. But Neve ties all of this back together by saying maybe Rich is not running his own socials and someone's doing this to him. So since VH1 is under the same MTV umbrella, Neve makes a couple of calls to try and figure out if Rich runs his own socials or if he has a social media manager or something like that. Haley then calls them back and says that it doesn't look like anyone else uses his account besides him, but she then gives them Mr. Dollaz's phone number directly. They give him a call and Nick lets Neve know to be cool, to be chill, and then he does quite a good Neve impression.
Like, hey, this is Neve from Catfish.
So the first time it rings out to voicemail and it says that this number belongs to Jose and they should leave a message.
Wait.
Who the hell is Jose? Child, this better not be Jose coming back. I can't do it. I can't do it. They call again, and this time it gets sent and this time it gets sent right to voicemail. So Neve leaves a typical catfish voicemail. Nick makes fun of him for this, and then takes over the text that they end up sending to Jose or Rich Dollaz or whoever the hell this is in an effort to make Neve seem more cool and less quote-unquote nerdy, quote-unquote dorky. But they end their investigation there and head out. So we've got nothing. But the next day, Neve and Nick are on their way to meet Sheila. And normally I would say to tell her what they found, but most of the investigation was spent on Neve's little story time. Okay? They also haven't heard back from Mr. Creep himself.
Peace Squad.
So then they come up with the idea to both message Rich Dollaz at the same time from their real Instagram accounts and see who he gets back to first, but they want to get Sheila's approval before they do anything. Neve, of course, just walks into her place and Nick says, oh, so we're doing break-ins? Black people can't break into nothing.
We just could break in.
Hello? Hey, I appreciate it.
Black people can't break in.
This man is actually hilarious. He's super, super funny. And I wonder why they didn't bring him back for any other episodes, because I thought he did a really good job, honestly. But then they sit down, they get into things. Question mark? Because again, they don't really have nothing to get into. But Sheila says that she doesn't know him as Jose, and girl, none of us know that man as Jose. But Sheila agrees to both let them message him in their own unique communication styles, and Neve says that they should send the messages at the same time. So I'm just wondering how exactly they were able to turn this into a competition when they're supposed to be investigating.
You think we should both do it? Or we should do it at the same time, though.
Sheila is very nervous, and understandably so. Nick and Sheila then have a little spat when Sheila tries to make it seem like she would stand on business, and Nick is like, girl, you haven't even been standing on biz this whole time. And while I get his point, maybe you didn't need to say that. But also, no, he needed to say that, actually. I take back what I said 2 seconds ago. He needed to say it. I just think the delivery was questionable.
JD.
However, she did need to hear that because she is being a little bit delusional. But as Neve is trying to smooth over the situation and ease the tensions, he gets a message and Mr. Swaggy got nothing, okay? Womp womp. But Rich sends them a message saying that he needs to meet like right now, and he gives them an address to meet up at. They waste absolutely no time and they head out. They pull up at the spot and they get to looking for Mr. Dollaz, and we see him right away in this Pepto-Bismol shirt. So as they're walking towards him, all three of them are super excited, and so excited you would think that Nick and Neve are also in a relationship with Mr. Dollaz.
That is him. Yes.
But Sheila goes, he is so sexy.
Oh my
Can't
God,
believe
he's
it's
so
him.
sexy.
I mean, I guess there really is someone out there for everybody.
You guys are shady.
But Nick tells her to chill out, tells her not to look so eager, not to look so thirsty. Rich is in absolute full creep mode as talking about it's a pleasure to meet Sheila. So right now it seems like this is who she was talking to. That's the impression it's giving me, especially with the way that he is eyeing her up.
Creep squad?
He then tells us that the phone they called yesterday was in fact his. He just uses a fake name. Rich then apologizes for how long all of this has been going on, but then this man says that it's not him. She hasn't been talking to him. What?
It hasn't been me, bro.
Hasn't been you.
It has not been me, bro.
What are you talking about right now?
Quickly.
Sheila is immediately pissed, but we are all confused. I think I can speak for you. You're also confused. What do you mean? Rich then does some old man ramble about how crazy social media is, and he says a bunch of other stuff that doesn't matter. Essentially what he's saying is that he's too old to run and keep up with all of his social media pages. His words, kinda sorta, not mine. Not all mine anyways. Rich then says sorry, and he doesn't want to be a prick on here, but the conversations haven't been him, and he feels bad about it.
I don't want to be like a prick on here. It hasn't been me.
This is interesting because in about 2.5 seconds, I'm sure he's about to be a prick anyways, because if you've seen Love and Hip Hop, you know that's his role. That's what he does.
Can I get a cheers to that?
No shade. Rich then yells out Rove, and his nephew walks up with evil villain music playing in the background.
Rove! So that's my nephew, Rove. What guy are you looking for?
Okay. We find out that this is the man who runs the social media pages, and he has been the one that has been talking to Sheila and who has been soliciting nudes from her as well. Rove makes a horrible first impression and says that he gets thousands and thousands of girls in the DMs. Incorrect, sir. Little sir, very incorrect. You get no girls. Your uncle gets those girls. But I would expect nothing less from Creep Jr. over here. Rove then says that whichever girl looks good, he'll click on that DM and have fun with her.
Whichever one is the one, I'll click it and just have fun with her.
Oh, P.U.
Nick is absolutely blown by what he's hearing right now, and you know it's bad if a habitual cheater thinks that you're bad.
Have fun with her.
I understand that Nick is smiling here, but I took it more as of a disbelief type of look. That man just perpetually has a smile on his face for the most part. So I think he was just like, is he really saying this? Is this really what I'm hearing? Even though he's smiling. That's how I took it. So that's why I'm saying he's blown. You might have a different interpretation, but that's my interpretation.
And I feel like I am just as blown as Nick because what's happening? This ugly man feels no remorse for what he's doing whatsoever. He's talking about it like it's a flex, and that is just really disgusting to me. Sheila asks if he even remembers anything about their conversation personally, or if it's just whatever, and Rove says that it's just whatever because he takes Instagram as a joke. Ew. Neve hops in and says, You take his Instagram as a joke.
I don't really take Instagram serious with the DMs.
Well, you take his Instagram as a joke.
Oh, okay, Clockiana, get into it. Rove then tells us that he is in his 20s, which is way too old to be looking like that and doing all this mess without remorse, but we move. Rich then finds out that his nephew was soliciting nudes, and the first thing he does is ask if Rove asked or if they were sent willingly.
You asked?
And old fart, it doesn't matter who asked. Disrespectfully, it don't matter at all. He was deceiving women on the internet using your account to do so.
Disgusting.
Using your account to get intimate pictures and videos. Who asked doesn't matter. Rove then tries to say that she just sent them, and Sheila says, hell no. No, that's not what happened at all.
Hold up, let's take that back. You asked.
Rove then says, oh, well, who wouldn't want to send them to Rich Dollaz?
Who wouldn't want to send news to Rich Dollaz?
Me.
Damn.
But also, what? What the are you talking about? Disgusting. I don't know who you think your uncle is. He's not like Jay-Z or something. Maybe Jay-Z's a bad example because of what he was recently accused of. Or maybe not. Neve says it's clear that you don't feel like you've done anything wrong, which is absolutely crazy. Rove then doubles down and he says that Instagram is a joke and the girls who slide in the DMs are jokes.
I took it as a joke. All the girls that slide in the DMs, it's just a joke.
I feel like you're a secret hater because girls aren't sliding in your DMs. They're sliding in your uncles. So what are you talking about? It's a joke. You're a joke. Neve says what you're doing is up. I don't remember if he says those words exactly, but in my mind, that's what he said. Rove says that he was just having fun.
Die!
You know what? You know what? For that reason alone, that's why God made sure to make you look like Mr. Potato Head himself, okay? Ugh, disgusting. Sheila then hits him with a nasty side eye, and I swear to God, if looks could kill, that man would have dropped dead. Neve does not let up. He says, you can't brush this off at all. I'm not going to let you. What's fun for you is not fun for these women who think that they're sending intimate pictures to someone they actually care about. He then stands up for Sheila in a way that I really appreciate. Neve says that Sheila is a very caring woman and she was looking forward to a meaningful relationship.
She's a caring woman, and she really was looking forward to a meaningful relationship.
While he's saying this, Rich is looking at her with a creep gaze that's making my stomach churn.
Creep squad?
You're gross. Why are you looking at her like that? Avert your eyes, motherfucker. Rove says that not everything is perfect and she should have gotten the hint because they never met up, talked on the phone, etc.
Don't piss me off, for real. Don't piss me off.
Nick now gets upset and says that's bullshit. You don't carry it on for 8 months.
That's bullshit, though. If you don't carry it on for 8 months, that's bullshit.
Like I said,
And Rove continues to try and justify his actions, and I wish at this point, I'm gonna keep it real with you, okay? I wish somebody would have picked his Peabody ass up and plopped him in the water right there. Right there, because what are you talking about? Neve says that Rove is a huge dickhead.
whatever.
Really seemed like a huge head.
Which, period poo, he is. But now, Rich decides he wants to speak up, and I just know he's about to be on some BS his damn self because like uncle, like little nephew. Emphasis on the little. Rich says that he is not condoning Rove's actions because he's dead wrong. But, and if someone ever says but, you know they're about to say some stupid stuff. There's no but. That's the end of it. He says that if Sheila slid in the DMs to smash and he hasn't smashed,
You slid in somebody's DMs to smash, and I ain't smashed.
What we're not gonna try and do is victim blame and victim shame something for old girl that your freaky ass little nephew did. That's what we're not gonna do. Sheila says that her intentions of sliding was never to smash. She was attracted to his vulnerability, and she messaged him off the basis of that. Richard Pennies doesn't address or acknowledge anything that she says, and he begins to try and get Neve and Nick on his side, but they're not going for it at all. Nobody's on your side. In fact, you shouldn't even be on the side that you're on right now. Neve then says that you cannot fault Sheila. And Mr. Penny says that he's not trying to, but that is in fact what he is trying to do.
You can't fault her for thinking,
No, I'm not faulting her.
Sheila says that Rich is more on her than he is on his nephew, which is absolutely true, and it doesn't make any sense except for the fact that the man who labels himself as a creep is a little bit misogynistic. But you didn't hear that from me. Rich then gives some half apology and says that Sheila seems angry.
I'm sorry, and you seem like you're angry.
I'm about to have one of those moments.
Come here. Come here, big dummy. Why wouldn't she be angry? She has been catfished by your nephew using your verified Instagram page. Why wouldn't she be mad? And if that wasn't enough, now you're trying to blame and shame her for what your funky nephew did.
Electric chair.
It's making less and less sense, to be honest with you. It really is. But Neve then redirects the focus back onto Rove because that's where it should be. And Rich Pennies makes it clear that he is now running his own social media account. I don't care. But he then apologizes again, and Neve dismisses him because he doesn't really directly have anything to do with this. Like, you could go, peasant. And as Peasant Pennies is walking away, he turns to Rove and says, she's gonna beat you up.
She gonna beat you up.
God, I wish someone would. Who said that? Nick then goes all the way off. He says that Rove is stupid, he's a creep, and he's a real pervert. Thank you. Thank you. That's what we've been saying this whole time. Ugh, that man.
You a creep. You a real pervert. I'm gonna say it because that's some bull.
But Rove then tries to say, oh, it's all fun and games. He says jump, they say jump. It's funny because they listen. You say send nudes and they send it. Listen here, lil dum-dum. You are just proving Nick's point. He said you're a creep and a real pervert, and you proceed to be a creep and a real pervert. Nick and Neve are really trying to get him to realize that what he's doing is wrong, but he just doesn't care. And it's clear he doesn't feel bad at all. But why would he? When his uncle is a verified member of the Creep Squad.
Creep Squad?
Rove then says, oh, well, it's not like I'm leaking their pictures and their videos.
You know, it's not like I'm putting it out on social media.
Who said that?
Who said that? Who said that?
The fact that he brought this up unprompted makes me believe that he is in fact distributing these pictures and these videos in some way. He might not be posting them online. I guarantee you he's sharing them with somebody. And I find it, I don't know why, I just find it really, really hard to believe that Rich Dollaz knew nothing about this, especially based on his reaction.
Allegedly.
That's just my opinion. Allegedly. I have nothing to prove this theory. It's just what I'm thinking. Neve says that it's absolutely alarming that Rove does not feel bad.
It concerns me that at no point did you think, like, I feel bad.
He, of course, doesn't address this, but he says that the other girls only last about 2 months. But with Sheila, it was 8, so what's really tea? But also, why are you saying this like it's, oh, well, it's no big deal because it just goes on for 2 months and then they move on? To me, him and Lucas, from Lucas and Many, same level of creep. 100% same level of creep. Rove then basically says that Sheila was a good target because she was emotionally invested off of the very first message she ever sent to him. It wasn't just like a hey, hello, it was about a paragraph.
Everybody's so creative. See how different that looks and how unsafe?
So you're admitting that you thought that Sheila would be a good target. Very predatorial, very pervy, if you ask me, as our good boy Nick said. At this point, Neve takes Sheila off to the side because she's heated, he's heated, while Rove stays with Nick. Without hesitation, as they walk away, Neve says that it's unfair for Rove and Pennies to try to blame Sheila and brush off what happened to her. Neve then says that he feels like Rove is also lying to himself about the severity of the situation, and in some way he's getting off on all of this. Rove then tries to defend himself by saying he thought that Sheila was a catfish.
I thought she was fake because of the pictures she sent, the way she was talking. So I thought it was a catfish.
What the are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Be fucking for real.
No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. What are you actually saying? Nick then reiterates what we're all thinking. We're not buying it. And he lets Lil Man know that he has in fact seen the messages, okay? So, no, you knew she was real. You knew she was real. Nick then says, and I love this part. This might be my favorite part of the episode. He then says that everyone in the world is gonna see that you're a creep and a real pervert.
Everybody in the world see this.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah, they gonna see that you a real pervert.
Period, queen. Neve and Sheila then walk back over, and Neve says that there is absolutely no way that he couldn't tell that Sheila was serious about this relationship and wanting to pursue things. Rove, then without missing a pervert beat, says that while she was taking it seriously, to him it was all a joke and it was a game.
Do you want to get beat the fuck up?
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
Deep breaths, deep breaths. Neve then loses it a little bit, and he says that it's fucked up to be making games and jokes out of someone else's life.
When you're making fun and game and jokes out of someone else's life, like that's where it starts to become problematic.
Rove then gives some half apology because he claims he didn't see it like that. Neve says, yeah, you're not getting off the hook that easy. You took advantage of her, and you took advantage of your uncle and a bunch of women. And Neve basically says, well, you're never going to hear from them. You're going to hear from us right here, right now. Nick tries to get through to him, but Rove cuts him off and says it's done. He apologizes and says that this will never happen to any other female on this planet.
Not to today, it's done. That's it. You know, I said my apologies. It will never happen again. Not to no female on this planet.
First of all, why'd you have to say female? Second of all, why'd you specify on this planet?
What does it mean?
Did you, Mr. Lil Jr. Creep, find a way to catfish women on other planets?
Thank you. I'm here all night.
Sheila says that's cool. She'll take the rap so this doesn't happen to anybody else. Neve tells Mr. Potato Head to get to steppin', so he does.
We're gonna chill here a minute, but you can head on out.
And thank God, because I am real sick of looking at his stupid right now. I really am. Neve and Nick praise Sheila for the way that she handled the situation, and Neve reminds her that she deserves to get back what she is giving in romantic relationships in the future. They both remind her that it's just not her fault. None of this was her fault, and Nick tells her that she is a real OG, which is a very sweet moment, I think.
It's not your fault. You really a real G. Give me some.
That's what's up.
And honestly, now seems like the appropriate time to ask just how tall Neve is, because when Nick and Neve are beside each other, there's not a huge dramatic height difference, which is interesting to me because Nick is an NBA player. But that's neither here nor there, okay? In our 2-month follow-up, we see that Sheila changed her hair and she looks good as hell. That's our girl, she looks good.
Look at you. New hairdo, new colors, and all that.
But she says that she has just been focused on her music, her daughter, but she is talking to someone online again.
Stop it. Get some help.
Someone she hasn't met. She says that who she's talking to is somewhat a celebrity with a verified account, but she is not name dropping this time. Neve and Nick then both poke fun at the fact that she seems to only go after verified accounts. Then we speak to Lil Man himself, and he says that he's good just focusing on himself, which he has no choice to because he's out of a job. Your uncle fired you. But Neve doesn't miss a beat at all, and he says focusing on yourself versus all the women you were lying to and DMing as your uncle.
You mean focusing on yourself versus all the women you were DMing as your uncle?
Yeah.
Oh. Rove tells us that he didn't really get in trouble with his uncle, but he did feel bad about the whole situation after filming, which I don't believe personally whatsoever. But Neve says he hopes to never see him again, and that's where the episode ends, besties. I hope you just didn't hear my stomach growl. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave a little dollar, leave a little money down in the comments for prosperity and wealth for all of us during this tax season. Besties, there is the very highly requested episode of Catfish. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have as much disdain for Rove and Rich Dollaz as I do. Sorry, the upload has been a little bit slow. But I'm here now, and I look great, I know you look great, and I'm very excited to see you in the next episode. I'm very excited to also hear what you have to say down in the comments, so make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you're aware of every single time that I upload. If there's another episode you'd like to see me cover, you can drop it down in the comments below. Another show you'd like to see me cover, you can also drop it down in the comments below. Most of the things that I cover are based on bestie episode recommendations. In the last Catfish video, we talked about Isaac, also known as Tarek, I believe, and a lot of you let me know that he was actually on Dr. Phil. I think it was featured in 2 episodes, and I've gotten a lot of requests to cover that. So if you're interested, definitely let me know. It's on my list of to-do things, but I want to know if you're interested in seeing it. I love you, besties. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.